Hey everybody, Jimmy with To the Top Crane. And if you were on the other link for the other live stream, I screwed up and deleted that link somehow. So anyway, we don't have anybody watching yet. Mrs. Top Crane decided to show up, which she very reluctantly decided to show up. She does not like being on camera. So there's that. But nevertheless, she's hanging out. G4 Outdoors, how are you doing? Andy B, hello. So we got 6 people in, 7. So you want to wave and say hi, or so she's probably just going to sit there and not say anything unless you guys ask medical questions. That's kind of how she rolls. David Fisher, how are you doing? Jim Worst. So hopefully notifying everybody on the community tab helped. Let me look and see who all saw that. So there was at least 8 people that saw it on the community tab. Scott Bennett, how are you doing? So hopefully that notification a few hours ago helped out. John Warren, how are you? James Bergeron. And then also, I did this earlier in the day for a couple of reasons. One is I want to give you guys as much time as possible to get in on these axes. And then also, and I'm not really a football fan, but Chiefs game's on in a little while. Jordan, I'm not going to try on that last name. I don't want to mess it up. But hello, Anthony Ray, how are you doing? Teacher Haggis. John Warren's pulling his hair out. Must have truck trouble. And for some reason, I feel like that light is pretty bright. I think it feels like, I don't know what it looks like over there, but it looks like my face is glowing on here. So let's tone that down a little bit and see if it helps. Is that better? Worse? You guys let me know. G4 Outdoors says, morning, Dorsey. Are you enjoying a cup of Starbucks? It's not Starbucks, but...
It's not, but it's my first pot.
That's her first pot of coffee. Andy B says it's better. Now it looks like I have kind of lines going across the screen, but let me know if it starts flickering in or out or anything, and I'll bump the light back up or try to change some stuff. Jordan said, oh, you're good. I'm used to my last name getting butchered. Okay, so we've got 23 people watching so far. I'm sure there'll probably be a few more jump in unless I'm interrupting a football game somewhere or something. I don't know. But we're going to jump into these axes. And those that have been following the channel since last year, kind of this time of year. Matt Lee, how are you doing? Says, present again, like button smashed again. Welcome, Mrs. To the Top. Okay, so if you were following last year, we auctioned off a vintage double-bitted axe that was donated by Jennifer Murtha Stevens. It's at Stevens Axe Works, so you guys can find them on Facebook. And also Jennifer Murtha Stevens has a YouTube channel. But she kind of upped the game a little bit this year, and we are going to do a silent auction on, let me get them. And you guys saw me unbox these a few weeks ago. Try not to hit you in the face with these, because it would be on video, and then everybody would have evidence. But both of these are going to go to their new home. This one in the double bitted is a vintage plum, and she sent me all the information on it. I'd have to dig it up. And then the single bit axe is, let me find it. I can't. Oh, it's a Collins. So those 2 axes are going to go to a new home, and it's going to go to the highest silent bidder. Also with the 2 axes, I'm going to send a couple Tadano hats, a Tadano poster, which is just like the one in the background. Let's see, where is it? It is over there. So this poster has all of the current all-terrain and rough terrain models that are in production, and even one of them that's in preliminary. T-Roy Vlog, how are you doing? And I will get a hold of you, Troy. We need to do something to get your channel boosted up there. And actually, if you guys like cars, vehicle reviews, T-Roy Vlog, he just commented, second comment up from the bottom. Go check his channel out. Okay, Art Walters. Okay, I had to go out and come back in. Hi, Jimmy. G4 Outdoors says 2 axes go to one person or 2 for 2. 2 axes are going to go to one person along with the 2 hats, the poster, a couple To the Top Crane stickers, and a couple Tadano stickers. Let's see. A couple of these little focus without the glare. A couple of these little Tadano stickers. Eugene, how are you doing? So the way that's going to work, let me put in my email address here. Nathaniel Lee, how are you doing? I ship myself. Okay, we're just going to call you I ship. The rest is a mouthful, so we're just going to roll with that. How are you doing? So the way this is going to work, if you want the axes, the hats, the stickers, and please do not feel obligated for this. This isn't one of those things I want people to think, man, this guy's asking me to do it, and I feel like I need to do this. Only do this if you can afford to do it. And I know this time of year, John Warren says, why not split them up? You may raise more money for the cause. It's kind of hard to split them up because they're different. So someone might get upset if they put in, okay, let's see, how could I do this? I could split them up.
You could do an auction for each one of them and let people bid on each one separately.
Yeah. All right, let's split them up. Who wants to split them up? Everybody give me a thumbs up in the comments if you want to split them up. And those that don't, well, I guess you can't give a thumbs up in the comments. Just say split or not split or whatever. What's your guys' thoughts? You guys tell me. This is your all's channel. I just put content on it, and you guys get to watch me do stupid stuff with cranes. So I want you guys to drive the boat. You tell me what you want. Andy B says split them up. So we got, all right, there's another one to split them. Allow the individual choose which one they're bidding on. Split a hat goes with each, stickers with each. Barry Hansen split them. David, all right, we're going to split them. Split it is. Okay, so here's how we're going to split them up then. When you guys send me an email with your highest bid, Smedco, more winners, more better, split. Tell me what your highest bid is on the double bit, if that's one you're after. And we will arrange it that way. And I will I will list the highest bidder, or on next Sunday I will announce the highest bidder on which. Mark Fiden, are they silent bids? They are silent bids going, and you have to bid on my tothetopcrane@gmail.com. And again, only bid what you're comfortable spending this time of year. So in your email, tell me which one you're bidding on. The single bit or the double bit? Yeah. Glad you're here, honey. The double bit or the single. And then whoever bids the highest will announce it next Sunday, and they will go to their prospective homes. Oh, Terry Pink put one of your toy cranes for auction.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to get the whole set, Terry. And then at that point, I may auction the whole set because that would be pretty significant. Okay, Anthony Ray asked how the payment's made. I'm going to do it the same way I did it last year. As soon as you send me an email with your highest bid, I will email that person back letting them know that they're the highest bidder. And D. McDonald won last year, and if he jumps on here, he can attest that he basically send the payment, friends and family, to my PayPal, and as soon as the payment hits, the axe will be directly shipped straight to you. Now, I'm going to throw in something else that I've been kind of kicking around. If you're within a couple hours of me, and I'm an hour north of Kansas City, if you're within a couple hours of me, I will hand deliver them. So I don't know. We'll meet up for lunch, whatever. I'll buy lunch and I will hand deliver them. I don't know. You want a road trip? How do you feel about a road trip?
Depends on how far.
Okay, if you're within 3 hours of me, then she evidently doesn't want to sit in the truck that long. If she doesn't want to ride along, I'll take Mike with me. If you're within 3 hours of me, I will hand deliver them. And I'm an hour north of Kansas City, Missouri. So there's that. So again, email me your highest bid on the double bit, or tell me in there if you want to bid on the double or the single. Whoever is the highest bidder will transfer money. Could I go to
I've already been
Ontario?
there.
Ontario, Canada?
Oh, I thought it said Orlando. Sorry.
No,
Bad.
Ontario, Canada. I will notify the highest bidder, and then we'll transfer money via friends and family on PayPal. And as soon as the money comes in, I'll ship the axe and take the money directly to U.S. Bank, Hope for the Holidays. And what this is for is, and you can look this up on the internet, 98.9 The Rock. It's a radio station in Kansas City. This time of year, they do a Hope for the Holidays campaign. And what it is it's for families that have been hit with something catastrophic in their life. It's not to cover freeloaders and stuff like that. It's a single mom that her husband was tragically killed on the job or in a car accident, and she's got kids she's trying to provide for, and they've gotten behind on stuff. They raise money for each individual person. They're very, very well vetted. They don't just hand over a stack of cash to the person. What they do is they make that person bring their light bill in if they're behind on it, and they pay that light bill. Or if they have a car that needs a transmission, then they arrange the car to be towed to a transmission shop and pay the shop directly to have the transmission put in. So it's not like they're just walking up to someone and said, hey, you send us a letter, you're $10,000 in the hole, and here's $10,000. They don't do that. What they do is if a person's $10,000 in the hole, a bunch of people call in, they donate $5, $10. I've seen as much as 2,000. And they get those problems taken care of to help give their families a good Christmas. So, and it helps get them back on their feet. So the way they describe it on the radio show, it's not a handout, it's a hand up. It's helping someone up. So that's what the money's going to. Dickard with Dave, how are you doing? And I have it pulled up on my phone, their latest one that they did, and I was going to play some of it on here, but I might get this video flagged for copyright if I did that. And so I've elected not to, but go to 989therock.com, click on Hope for the Holidays, and you can listen to some of the stories that have gone through. It's if it doesn't tug on your heartstrings, you're not really human. So anyway, to the top grain at gmail.com, email your highest bid and like I said, what you're comfortable spending. Tell me which axe you're bidding on, and we will get them shipped out to you. So now that that's out of the way, what's anybody else got questions on? Any crane stuff? Or, well, you're here. Medical stuff.
I don't give medical advice over the internet.
You what?
I said I won't give medical advice over
Yeah, she won't give medical advice over the internet, which is completely understandable. John Warren says I've listened to some of them already. And the one we donated to last year, it actually almost made me cry. And it literally, listening to them in the mornings, some of them will make a tear stream down your cheek. I will also be completely transparent in delivery of the money.
Randy.
Thanks for that, Randy. I'll record going to the bank. If they'll let me record in the bank, I'll take my GoPro in and record going in, showing you guys that I'm depositing the money into their account and all of that. So, John Warren, his truck's in 4 pieces right now. Was that the picture? Oh, you're lengthening that thing out, aren't you? You posted a picture of a set of rear ends and a frame section. Is that what you chop your truck in half? Scott Bennett, how to deal with cracked skin from road salt.
Shoot 'em all.
I didn't think you were going to give medical advice over the internet.
You can get it over the counter.
Oh, I guess you can get Cutamol over the counter. Supposedly, it's wonderful stuff.
It's a very thick cream, but you have to use it regularly, like 2 or 3 times a day to get it to work.
Oh, there you have it. Kieran asks, what's your next crane on your wish list? Like real crane or die-cast crane? Henry Rico, which one of you moderators wants to take him out first? Well, Nathaniel Lee is on it.
Seriously,
You got several more. Let's just go ahead and ban him from the channel.
please.
You guys are on it.
Seriously, do people get stuff like that?
Oh yeah, people do stupid stuff. It's typically kids that are trying to get a rise out of people or whatever. That's why I have a lot of moderators that can go in there and just manhandle them. It's more fun to watch the moderators do it because I think they get enjoyment out of it. John Warren says, yeah, not by choice. Kieran says, real crane. I don't know that our company will buy another big crane for quite some time. If I had to go out and buy one today, it would be a Tadano ATF 220. It's a pretty phenomenal machine. Scott Bennett, that's way over PG-13. I don't disagree. But the ATF 220, it's a 250 American ton capacity. It's got 220 feet of main boom. Actually, you got the specs right here. Main boom length 223 feet, jib length 118. And I've actually seen pictures of one that they put all of the inserts on it, had 118 feet of jib on it. Main boom stretched all the way out. And they boomed it down until the tip of the jib touched the ground. So that would be, I don't know that I'd be able to do that without a diaper on. John Warren just sent you the pictures of why you may show it. Okay, I'll check it out. Nathaniel, I see West Coast logging. Richard Savali, Jimmy got an oiler. Von Heels, how are you doing? This is what tip height do you have to inform nearby airports? Over 200 feet. If you're within, it depends on the airport. There's a certain distance away from the center of the runway. If you're over, or if you're 20,000 feet, within 20,000 feet of the center of the runway of a military airport or an airport that services certain size planes, then if you go over 200 feet, you have to notify them. Smedco, how are you doing? This is a nice pick. Our 220 stay busy too. Yeah, I wish we had a 220. Scott Bennett, good for cell towers. Still not a fan of cell towers. G4, that's a good question, Randy. Said, I meant to ask, is a friction brake on the crane you showed the other day capable of letting loose like an anchor on a ship? It is. Smoke and all. It will. And is your crane capable of letting loose as well? No. The crane I operate, you can't free fall it. The Link Belt 318 that I showed the other day, it absolutely will free fall. And that's one of the reasons why I don't operate it. I haven't operated one enough to be comfortable with it. And if you make one mistake, the boom hits the ground or the ball hits the ground. Matt Lee says, have you thought about also having general fund to make donations to Axis? Take a bunch of effort to use, but I might be able to come up with some cash for your fundraising. If a person just wants to donate to that, Matt, shoot me an email and let me know how much you want to donate, and I'll, we can do it the same way. If you guys want to give $5 to the cause or $10 or $2 or whatever, that would be fantastic. Shoot me an email and we'll work it out. And Matt Lee, you're local, so we could meet up for lunch and do that deal. I'll even buy lunch. James Bergon says he's back. Had to go put some stuff in the attic. Von Heels, what you're saying is those planes knew you were there and decided to add some excitement to your day. We weren't within the range, or we weren't within the spec of having to notify or file a paperwork for that. But I did call the tower and let them know where we were going to be and how much boom I had in the air, just because I knew the area. And so, yes, they knew we were there, and they didn't come by until about an hour after I called the tower. So it's possible they may have came over and just said hi, but also we were set up in line with one of their training routes. So they may have just been coming through there for one of their training runs as well. So it's hard to say. And I asked a buddy of mine that used to be a navigator on a C-130. I said, would they intentionally get that close? And he said, sometimes they'll send a message. Sometimes they want to do it just horsing around, whatever. And I don't mind it. As long as they don't run into me, we're both good. It's not like I could swing the boom over and swat at them. That crane's not that fast. Richard says the FAA and Midway Airport was not pleased. Richard Sowley. Oh, here we go. Do not do like I did. Take a boat flare and shoot at passing planes buzzing your boom. Yeah, I could imagine that would get you in trouble. Just the simple fact that they can arrest you for a laser pointer. I would say a boat flare would probably get you broke out in handcuffs. Andy B. So, Richard, how long was your stay? Karen said, look at Bluetooth LTM 1350. Scott Bennett, how close were the planes? I honestly don't know how close they were. That first one, in the short amount of time that I had to look up, and you guys probably saw in the video, I grabbed the camera and tried to get up there as quick as I could. It looked like they were really close. That first one, it looked like it was, I don't know, in the video I said it looked like he was 100 feet, but after going back and watching it a few times, he was probably 250 feet maybe. It's not like I had a whole lot of time to analyze it as he was going over, but he was close enough that it got my attention. And I've been on a job where I had a crop duster buzz me one time. He was literally about 50 feet off the ground, turned sideways to the plane, and I could see the expression on his face as he went by. So I think he was within about 75 feet of me, about 50 feet off the ground. I don't know what Authentic Panda said, but oh, yeah, free shout out. It's probably not going to do you much good, but I just said your name, so whatever. Shane Davis, I'm set up to take a week of Crane 1 class in February, then a week of Crane 2 in March, then take my CCO test and hopefully get out in the field not long after that. Well, good luck with that, Shane, and my advice is don't put yourself in a position that you're not comfortable with. I see a lot of new operators jump in the seat and they want to go straight to the big cranes, and it's a good way to get yourself and someone else in trouble. So take your time and take it as you're comfortable. Oh, G4 Outdoor says we drive by an airfield every day. Once we had a stealth bomber run a simulated run on our train. It was super cool, scary, but cool. That would be pretty spooky to see a stealth bomber coming at your train. Nathaniel Lee, how many model cranes do you have to your right beside you? That's actually over here to my left, but there's three. There's an ATF 220 on that end, an ATF 160 in the middle, and then a GR 1000 on the left. I guess it'd be left if you're facing it. I guess it would be my right. Yeah. Back there. We'll just cover that. DJ asks, can you do a video when you're setting up the crane and tear it down at a job site? I can, but it tends to be pretty shaky. And here's why. If I do that, I put the camera on my hard hat, and I can't really spend time setting cameras up and recording and all that when we're setting the crane up and tearing it down. The reason for that is the customer is paying us per hour to get their job done. So my priority, first and foremost, is getting their job done. Recording is second. So it'd be pretty hard for me to jump out of the crane cab, go talk to the customer, look at their job, find out what they need us to do, and then be like, hang on a second. I know you're paying $550 or $600 an hour for the crane, but I'm going to go get my cameras out and get them staged out where I've got good video and shots, and I'll be right back with you. That would not be professional on my part. So I can throw a camera on my hard hat and do the best with it, try to edit it, keep you guys from getting sick from all the movement. But it's really hard for me to get set up and tear down just because of that. Yamaha, how are you doing? Says you can learn a lot in a small 40-ton. Absolutely. And really, if you can get comfortable in a smaller crane, like a 25, 30-ton boom truck or 40-ton boom truck or RT, then it will make you a better operator in a bigger crane, because the bigger cranes tend to be more stable. And if you can get comfortable with the movement of those smaller cranes, then you will be a better operator in a bigger crane. Tronders, at my workplace, we have 2 Grove 220s and 1 220 Tadano. Good cranes, but our Liebherr 250 is by far the best 5-axle crane in my opinion. And 88 tons or around 194,000 pounds of counterweight. It's all personal preference. It's kind of like Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. They all move you down the road. It's just which one do you want to ride in? I'm partial to Tadano, obviously, not because they're paying me. They don't pay me anything. They send me stuff, but we've had very good luck with them. They're great machines, great support. The cost of ownership is inexpensive compared to some of the others. So we're very partial to Tadano. Our company, if we had to replace one of our bigger cranes, we're going to go right back to Tadano. We're not going to look at anything else. Von Heels had a job to sandblast the interior of a friction rig to be repainted about 12 years ago. All I could think about the entire time was how every square inch of it seems to be designed to hurt you. That is absolutely the truth. The inside of those things are a meat grinder if you get your hands in the wrong spot. Walter Matson says, it's nice to see your wife again. He just turned the live stream on. He was on the 6-hour marathon, I think, that you and Maddie came down for. Oh. Jeep GP looking to do the Australian version of a 60-ton course soon. Any advice? If you've already done your written part of it, my advice would be just practice. Try to get in the crane you're going to use for your test if you can, and then just practice. Seat time is what makes the difference. Smedco brings up a good point. He said, how old are they? I found the Liebherrs are pretty rough after 10 years. Kieran said, stick a camera on top of the boom or the block. I've got some footage already on my channel of camera on the block. So there is some overhead footage. I haven't put one on the end of the boom for a while because I was sticking one on the anti-2 block weight and it moved around a lot. But if you go through the videos, there is overhead footage from having a camera on the block or on the end of the boom. Jamshed, we're just going to go with that. Says, hello, brother. I need a job mobile crane operator. I can't help you with that. I don't do the hiring at our facility. KW900, Kevin, how are you doing? Says, had the C-130s from the base near where you are flying around me before as I ran Highway 36 going east from Marysville, Kansas, when I picked up and landed all trailers. Yeah, this area, it's very common to see them flying around here. DJ asks a good question. How far do you travel to job sites? What's your maximum mile radius? We will go as far as someone will pay us to go. Our crane rate starts when the crane leaves the building. So if someone wants to pay us to go to Texas, we'll drive it there, but I'd have to leave now to get there by next Thursday. Yamaha says, I'm loving my Grove 5120. And Grove, they make a great machine. That 5120 is a fantastic machine. Matt Lee says, can you even get a new friction rig anymore? I'm not certain. I don't think so. But, I mean, there might be some out there for special applications, mining operations, clamming, drag lines. So they may be out there, but I'm not certain. James Berger on the 6-hour-long live stream. Good times. I think I was almost hoarse the next day. 6 hours of talking is a lot of talking. Todd Scholes, how are you doing? Smedco says, Yamaha, great crane if it only had a little more stick. Lawn Commander, how are you doing, Lawn Commander? He's got an enormous beard, like Duck Dynasty. But he's a good dude. Von Heels, have you actually had jobs far enough away you had to stay overnight before? We have. Actually, we did just some of them recently. Yamaha, but Smedco, she's got 167 plus a jib, so it's more than enough for the jobs I want to go to. Smedco says, at Matt Lee, I think the military can still get them new from Manitowoc. Oh, Nathaniel Lee. Is that the link to the video I just put up not too long ago? Here's my theory on crane jibs too, since we're kind of on the subject of it with 167 plus a jib. I wonder if the engineers built the crane and then after they were testing it, they're like, I think it'll reach more, so let's build a jib for it. And then they build the jib and throw it on there, the swing away. And like, it didn't turn it over and it didn't break the boom in half. Let's build some inserts for it. And then before long, you've got a piece of spaghetti. I think that's kind of how that goes down. Now, I'm sure they're engineered, but whenever you start throwing jib and inserts on a crane and maxing out radius or tip height, it starts getting a little spooky. And Lawn Commander, somebody's filling you full. G4 Outdoors, do you have any experience in repairing hydraulic motor trims? I've got one torn apart on my workbench in my garage. I just can't find the stupid part for it. Yamaha, but that's a good question. It says, how do you grease your boom? Our yard is looking to go on to getting a sprayer instead of using paint rollers like we currently do. We use paint rollers. We've done spray, and it's messy. Spray sucks, and here's why I'll tell you it sucks. If you grease your boom outside, which you typically have to do with the bigger cranes, if there's a little bit of a breeze, you're going to have grease all over you. It's going to be on your face. It's going to be on your safety glasses. It's going to be on your clothes. Spraying sucks. That's why we use Luba Boom in a bucket with paint rollers, little 6-inch paint rollers. Todd Scholes says, you talked about shaking camera on your hard hat. Couldn't you use a gimbal on your hard hat with a GoPro? I could, but even the weight of this camera, which is a Hero 5, which is what I record 99% of my footage with, it doesn't look like much, but just the weight of that camera makes my hard hat kind of slide down a little bit in the front. Nathaniel Lee named Ghost Rider. Yeah, I kind of picked the name for that video off of Top Gun. Von Heel said, I suspect it's more to do to the stiffness at that distance away. The lattice structure is going to give you better rigidity. I agree. Yamaha, but the paint rollers just seem to waste so much grease once you scope in. The wear pads wad it all up. That's why I put it on fairly thin with the paint rollers, just enough to coat the surface, and you can actually still almost see through it. And then I don't scope boom in or out unless I'm above 75 degrees. That kind of helps some of the grease stay on there, but the Tadano 180 is the happiest telescoping and retracting between 74 and 76 degrees. Charter Sod said the Liebherr 250 is a 15 model and has been good so far. The heater is the biggest problem, only has one engine. The Tadano 220 is an 09 model, has 16,000 hours, still runs great, good machines. Smedco says, Jimmy, what do you use for the boom pins? Dry moly spray? No, the boom pins actually have grease fittings for them, and we use I'm not sure what the spec calls for. We use the Tadano spec grease. I think it's got a lot of it might have some lithium in it, and I'm not sure what else it's got in it. The moly, it's got a lot of moly in it. But DJ asks, how long you been doing this job as a crane operator? I don't know how long I've been a crane operator. 10 years, close to 10 years.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I've been working around heavy equipment since right out of high school, since I was 18. Actually dealt with carry deck cranes and boom trucks a lot even back then, but specifically as a crane operator, pretty close to 10 years. Walter Madsen said, I think we need a medical question for your wife to answer. What does she want to talk about?
Nobody wants to talk about that on here. That's not why they're on here.
I don't know if you caught that. But. So I've got a picture of a job we did the other day. There'll be some footage of. Let me go to that. And if you follow me on, I think I posted this. Did I post this on Instagram? I think I posted this on Instagram, but we'll see if we can get that without glare. So that was, I think that was a 210-foot radius with the old Tadano. And there'll be a video of that coming up soon. I think I was boomed down to about 27 degrees, maybe. Shane Davis had sent you a picture of bridge beams that were brought in a site last week, picked with 200-ton Liebherr crawlers. Yeah, I got that. I think I got that picture on my email. Von Heels, that's true story. He said, we will talk about almost anything on here, medical, equipment, auto, or otherwise. Walter Madsen says that was on Facebook. I think I did. I think I may have posted it on both. Let's see. Yeah, I posted on Instagram and I posted on Cranes Are Awesome on Facebook. So if any of you are on Facebook and you want to follow an awesome crane channel, wait, that's going to be a pun. Cranes Are Awesome is a good Facebook page. Nash Guy 207 says, hi, Jimmy. Is your wife a nurse? My wife is a nurse practitioner. So 11 years of college and counting. So she's been in college for 11 years and is currently in college to get her doctorate. So when she is finished, it will be Dr. Yamaha says, my personal furthest radius is 177 with a Grove 9000, so 142 main, 56 feet of jib. That's a stretch. James Bergeron says, I follow Cranes Are Awesome on Facebook. Todd Scholes, wow, congrats to her.
Thank you.
So talking about radiuses, Yamaha, people don't understand that, like say you're in a 35-ton crane with 100 feet of main and you make a pick at 98 feet. That's still just as stressful as taking the ATF 180G and putting 197 feet of main out and making a pick at 190 feet. It's all relative to the size of the crane. G4 Outdoors says she has had her nose in medical books since the first day I met her. And we have known Randy for a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
John Warren, his oldest daughter, is an MD now. Congratulations to her. Terry Pink, good for her. She will keep you healthy. No, I would be her worst patient.
Yeah.
My wife is the smartest person in the world when it comes to medical until it comes to my medical. And she's not going to disagree with that.
Nope.
Nash guy.
Amen.
Yeah, but see, he says he's not allowed to ask her any medical questions. But in the same regard, when you're off work, you shouldn't be allowed to preach medical to us when it pertains to us, right?
I'm on call.
Whatever. I'm not going to win. Von Heels, that's a good question. Said you said there are additional sheaves you can purchase to add to the crane. How many parts can you handle as configured now? 14 parts of line is what I can put in it right now. There's 7 on the tip of the boom and 7 on our big block. 7 sheaves. So we can do 14 parts. And I've got a job coming up on, I think it's the 19th. We're probably going to have 10 parts in it. You going to get more coffee?
Yeah.
But we're going to have 10 parts of line in it on the 19th. I've got to pick a 125,000 pound, I think it's an anhydrous ammonia tank. It's a big one. It's going to be like the one that we did, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. It's on here. William King, how are you doing? John Warren says, trust me, I get the wrath from my daughter about what I need to do and not do. Yeah. I feel your pain, John. Let's see these pictures of your truck now. Oh. Okay. So John Warren is he's a truck driver cutting his truck in half. And here's why. Let's see if we can get these pictures to pull up. Here's one of the frame rails. And that is what used to be a frame rail. That thing is in bad shape. Lawn Commander, you cut out sugar and you want need and medical. Not sure I'm following that. William King says, not bad. Can I ask a question? You can absolutely ask a question. That's what this channel is about. It's you guys can have open questions there in comments, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. If I don't have the answer, then I will try to find the answer. Smedco says those silly things. One of our cranes came with those sheaves still in the shipping crate they came in. Sam Martin says, do you have a video of the new to you heavy coil slings? I've got footage from 2 years ago where we were unloading coiled steel out of a barge that we were using those. I just haven't edited it and uploaded it. Scott Bennett thought you got Thor's hammer on it. Thor's hammer's, it's getting closer. It'll be what? January, maybe. DJ says, what is your page on Facebook? To the Top Crane on Facebook is my page. Cranes Are Awesome is another page that you need to go follow if you like cranes. And Cranes Are Awesome is also on Instagram, as well as To the Top Cranes on Instagram. Carrie and I have never been to the UK. It's on the to-do list. She wants to go to Scotland. So I think we're going to make a trip to Scotland at some point. And then I would like to go to Germany. I would like to go to Tadano in Germany and maybe have Tadano send me there. It'd be a lot cheaper for me. William King says, what do I need to do to become a crane operator? Study. Find a company that is in crane rental or join your local union, IUOE, and learn as much as you can. It's a rewarding career. It's stressful at times. There's a lot of responsibility involved in it, but it is a rewarding career. I enjoy it. There's days that I don't enjoy it. There's days that I wonder why I didn't stay in school and become a lawyer or doctor or something. But, there's also days that I enjoy being able to shut my little glass door, sit in my little glass box and do my own thing. Drew Bradley says I missed another live show. Sorry, glad to see all as well. Well, hello, Drew. Now that you're here, you didn't miss it all. You only missed about the first 48 minutes of it. Dan, I think that's Daniel. What do you think? We'll just call you Daniel K because I'm sure I'm going to mess that up. He says, greetings from Europe. John Warren, only about a year behind schedule. Tronder Sod said our yard crane for loading and unloading trucks is a 91 model Link Belt 248, I think, 180-ton crawler. You guys must have a pretty significant crane yard because our yard crane is the 180G-5 or the 80-4 or one of our Manitex 50-128s because we don't have a dedicated yard crane. We just drag out whatever we need to load and unload stuff. Oh, Lawn Commander said didn't come out quite right. Sugar causes all medical problems. I'm a crane operator. I can't give you an opinion on that. Andy B, if you're on a job doing a lot of the same picks and one outrigger is settled too much, does all stick come in and all counterweight come off to adjust? If it settles too much, then I'll retract boom and level it back out, but I don't have to take counterweight off to do that. I can just start the lower and level it up. It also depends on how much boom is out. Technically you can adjust an outrigger with it set up, but there's some risk involved in it. And I've seen guys do it. And I've also heard of cranes turning over because someone starts fiddling with their outriggers with the boom out and maybe a load hanging on the hook, or they'll push the button the wrong way. I mean, it can go south on you in a hurry. So I tend to err to the side of caution. And if I've got a lot of boom out, I retract boom and leave the counterweights on the deck, pin it over the rear, level back up, and carry on again. To me, it makes more sense to spend a few extra minutes being safe than it does to clean up a crane accident. Walter Matson asks, is that coffee caffeine free? I would drink it if it was full of cream and sugar. That coffee is not caffeine free. We are independently supporting one of the local Starbucks.
This isn't Starbucks.
I know it's not, but how many pots of coffee a day do you think you drink?
I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 at home. Andrea and I probably go through about 3.
That's a lot of coffee. This is water. I don't drink coffee. It doesn't get cold enough on this planet for me to sit down and truly want to just drink a bunch of coffee.
No, you drink coffee.
Occasionally, like 3 cups a year.
Exactly. Who drinks it? What's the point in drinking it if you're going to drink unleaded?
Terry Pink says you can't be a lawyer. You're too honest and don't steal money. Drew Bradley, did the conversation of the swapping of the train trucks happen? I've been really busy lately. No one's brought up the rail car stuff. John Warren says this project's turned into a mess. The cutoff you've seen on the Instagram turned out. The banjos are junk. We found out after welding all back. Ooh. Okay, Daniel says, I made the crane driving school here in Europe, Romania. I'm authorized up to 60 tons, but I don't work with cranes. Says Daniel is okay. Well, what'd this person say? Oh, yeah. Terry Pink says, can the self-level? Are you wondering if the crane can self-level? It does have a self-level feature on the outriggers, but I typically don't use it. I like to make sure all my outrigger forces are pretty even, and sometimes the self-level doesn't do that. John Warren, who drinks unleaded coffee. Scott Bennett coffee IV drip.
If only.
Nick Greed drinks two pots a day himself.
Well, and yeah.
Drew Bradley at age almost 50. I'm too young to drink coffee. Actually, how old were you when you started drinking coffee?
I was about 10.
She's been drinking coffee since she was 10.
Dalton has been since he was 7.
Von Heels, my cousin, who's a doctor, says it's fine for him to drink and eat bad foods because he knows how bad it is for him.
That's right.
Nash guy. It sounds like his wife drinks a lot of coffee at home and at work. He only drinks 1 cup a day. Nathaniel Lee's sister's an RN. William King asks, how heavy is the crane? When it's completely set up, pushing 300,000 pounds. Going down the road, 150.
Ooh.
What?
Yuck.
What are you talking about? What are
I
you
like
yucking?
coffee with a little salt, butter, and heavy cream.
Oh. Hey, to each his own.
Have at it.
Might be good. Let's see. Let's get into some comments again. Kieran, are you picking Christmas Eve? I've got camera pulls. I don't know that we'll be working Christmas Eve, but it's hard to say. Brian says coffee makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
Try something. I don't know what you're referring to, but there's nothing that has to do with any of that. Daniel says, did you try Liebherr? I have operated Liebherr cranes, and they make a nice machine. I've got nothing against them. I'm just partial to Tadano's. Matt DJ, how are you doing? Says, how's the winter workload look? Around here, most places are undercover, and we'll be doing most inside finish work. Down here, we're still going pretty strong. You can still see grass in the yards. We've had, one snowfall that amounted to an inch, and then it went away. We're still pretty busy, and we'll typically stay busy all year round. It's kind of a roller coaster. One week we might have 20 or 25 hours worth of work, and then another week we'll have a whole bunch of it. Drew Bradley, thank you for that, sir, for the $10 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Smedco, if we were going heavy cream, may as well make it an Irish coffee. William King, bigger than the cranes I saw. Tronder Sod says, have you ever been to Bama in Germany? I have not, and I would love to go to that.
What is it?
That's correct me if I'm wrong, Tronder Sod, but isn't Bama the largest crane expo in the world? Like, just it's mind-boggling the amount of cranes there. Lawn Commander says it's better than anything Starbucks has. And I'm not sure who our Russian friend is, and I cannot pronounce that at all. But hello from the United States. I actually, when I was in 6th grade, I think I learned to count to 10 in Russian. I don't remember all of it, but like the first 3. But that's the extent of Russian that I know. But welcome to the channel. Shane Davis said a friend of his is a doctor in Navy SEAL. Gave him stitches in his garage once. Better than bleeding out. Sid Vicious, how are you doing? Nathaniel Lee says, what's your plan for 2019 Christmas? Hang out with the family. You guys want me to jump on and say Merry Christmas on Christmas Eve? I mean, we could do a quick little live stream. I say a quick little live stream. Every time I say I'm going to do a quick one, I'm on here for 2 hours. So there's that. Drew Bradley says 62 people watching. Hit the thumbs up, folks. It helps the sharing algorithms to spread the channel. It does indeed. So thanks for that, Drew Bradley. Andy B says, don't forget to, let's see if I can match that. That's pretty close. So thanks for that, Andy B. William King, Jimmy, how long you been running a crane? Specifically cranes for about 10 years. The South 803, how are you doing? This is the company you work for. Ever get audited inspected by OSHA? Is there a crane specific agency that inspects your yard, equipment, safety, etc.? They've come by a few times here and there over the years. By and large, I mean, we're a fairly decent sized construction company in the area, and we're pretty stinking safe. You guys watch my videos. I'm pretty safety oriented. That the safety of everybody around the crane is my first responsibility. So it's not like we would have a bunch of stuff for them to come around and say hi about. So try something. This is a very, very non-political channel. So, if you're here to watch crane videos and talk about cranes or whatever, I will discuss anything on here except for religion and politics. So if you're trying to get politics out of me, ain't going to happen. I've got my beliefs and ideals. She's got hers. You guys all have your own. And an argument on YouTube is not going to change anybody's thoughts and feelings. Von Heels, that's a good point. Says one thing about setting up in the winters, you have to be more careful about setting up equipment on slopes if any of that solid water is around. Beyond that, people go year round. And I actually kind of like it. Well, I hate winter, but I like having frozen ground. As long as it's frozen 32 inches deep, I like it. Evidently, someone doesn't get the point. So here we go. I get to enjoy this one. Mike Manford, how are you doing, Mike? I still have Charles's gift upstairs. It's now looking like it's going to be a Christmas gift. Could you help remind me to get that sent out, please?
What? Oh.
Please.
Yeah, that package.
Yes.
It's been up there for a while.
Yes, pretty please. So tell Charles I said hello. William King says, nice guy, talk to you later. Well, thanks for stopping in, William King. Todd Scholes drinks about 6 pots of coffee a day.
Right on.
Our friend from Russia asked if I've ever worked with XCMG cranes. I mean Chinese cranes. I've operated a Sani, and I was not a fan. I have never operated the XCMGs. I've seen a lot of them go over on some videos, and I don't know that I want to. Terry Pink says, have you ever gotten to a job site and refused to pick? I've gotten to a job site and had to refuse to pick because our crane wasn't big enough. We were given inaccurate information by the customer, and I couldn't make the pick happen because it was too much of a radius with too much weight. So we had to actually, I called another crane company for the customer, gave them all the information, told them what crane they needed to bring, what radius they were going to be set up at, how much counterweight, or told them all that so they would know how much counterweight to bring for it. And so I took care of the customer in that way. But the crane that I was in was not enough to handle the job. So anyway, customer still got their job done. It cost them a little bit more, and it cost them a little bit of downtime, but we still got it done for them. Nathaniel Lee says, if you want to go to Bauma 2022, it's the biggest show in the world. Yeah, it's just ridiculous how big Bauma is. Matt Lee says, I tell younger techs there's a lot less paperwork involved when we stay safe. That is a fact. Sid Vicious, oh man, can't we please argue about politics and religion? No, sir. Mike Manford, just have to file a hurt feelings report when talking politics and religion. Mike Manford, glad he's not on today. I didn't even think about that. I almost gave away something, didn't I, Mike? Sorry. Drew Bradley says, folks, please be kind to one another. We are here to educate. I wish the rest of the world would follow that daily. Honestly, I wish there was more Ron Pratts in the world. Talk about a good person. Yeah, 3,425 exhibitors and 6,500,000 square feet of area at that Bama deal. 580,000 visitors. That's insane. Von Hills, honestly, doesn't matter what I'm in. If I'm in a big chunk of metal that starts moving in an unexpected way, seatbelts are no longer needed. The jaws of life couldn't separate me from the seat. I've had some situations like that. KW900 Kevin says, what did the University in Iowa say when you informed them that the concrete popped under the outrigger? That concrete was actually slated for replacement, so it was going to get tore out and replaced along with the rest of the new construction on that job. So it wasn't an issue. I knew it was going to break, and there were several comments that people were saying, I would have freaked out had that happen. If I wasn't expecting it, I would have freaked out a little bit because I literally felt the whole crane shake when it popped, but I knew it was going to happen. And breaking concrete like that's not a problem as long as it doesn't start to sink. That's why I asked Kyle, who was the oiler on the ground, hey, you need to keep an eye on that and let me know if it starts to sink, because if it starts sinking, we got to do something different. Mike Manford, good man. That Ron Nash Guide 207, very true about Ron Pratt. Richard Stoltz, Ron Pratt is so awesome. I agree. I definitely agree. Ron is a good dude. Shane Davis, is the Cloud9 Ranch still there in southern Missouri? I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Drew Bradley, I've never lifted on permafrost. We don't have permafrost around here, thank goodness. Sometimes it seems like it, but never lifted on permafrost. James Bergeron, very true about Ron. He's a good man. One of my favorites to watch, and only the third channel who I've watched every video on. James Bergeron has watched every one of my videos, and some of them multiple times. And since YouTube ended the whole Hangouts on air thing, I don't know how to have guests on the live streams anymore other than have them sitting next to me. So I don't know how I'm going to do another live stream with Ron, but that was a good one. If you guys haven't watched it, I mean, I know it's long, but that was a good live stream. I enjoyed having Ron on there. Now I wish YouTube wouldn't have gotten rid of Hangouts, because that was a good way for channels to work together. But now I got to figure something else out differently. And my sum total knowledge about computers is how to turn them on, download footage into them, do a little editing, and upload it.
What Danny tells you.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that's an IT guy. He's my computer guru, and so I just do whatever he tells me. Drew Bradley says, packed full of info. That show was. It was. There was a lot of information in that show. Lawn Commander says StreamYard, I think. So I'm guessing that StreamYard, that must be an app you have to download or something, or software. Mike Manfred said, ask Jason and Brandon. They still do joint streams. I didn't see where they were doing any joint live streams. Von Hill says, you were commenting on how nice it was to have the heater. It is important to me that the boss is willing to do the jobs they're asking others to do. And we have seen the Oilers side of you too. Whenever we're setting the crane up, I'm out setting the crane up with the guys. If we're swinging the jib, I'm swinging the jib with them. I'm not afraid to get out of the cab and help. I mean, we're all there to get the job done. And I won't ask someone to do something I haven't done. James Bergeron's going to be working on a new video for his channel. We'll be looking for that, James. Zian Watts says you could use Skype or Facebook calls to do Hangouts, then just screen record. Not sure how that works. Todd Schultz says, I've watched all your videos and really enjoyed them and learned things I have never known. Well, I'm glad people are able to learn from some of the stuff I do on here. It wasn't intended to be really an educational channel, but, it works. Scott Bennett asked if Ron knows how to do it. I'm not sure if Ron does or not. Kieran says, what's tomorrow's lift? I'm on a 300-foot stack. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on one of our 50-ton Manitexes. We're having some anti-two block issues with the jib, so I got to set it up, swing the jib, and find out why the anti-two block is not playing nicely with the LMI. Smedco, our company does not bear rent anything. They're all manned. Sid Vicious asks, what's the difference, by the way, a Hangout and what you're doing now? There's not really any difference. Google Hangouts was a program that you could invite other people on Google Hangouts to join into your program, and it would cut back and forth. But as far as, I think I put Hangout in the title on this. We're just hanging out talking. Tronder Sod says, I hear a lot about union and non-union. What is union? So union is a collection of employees bound under the same bargaining contract. So it keeps the employer and the employees on the same page, and it's all in black and white, so it's not like things can get made up as the game goes along. Drew Bradley, thanks for that. Says, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please be kind. Feel free to ask questions and hit the thumbs up. Now we've got 53 thumbs up on here so far. Lawn Commander says, not into technology, but yeah, that's one I've watched, has been StreamYard. I'll check that out. Google knows what StreamYard is. Andy B, I was on a live stream yesterday. They had 6 people on. I think it was Streamlab, but I'm not sure. I've tried to do, when they had Hangouts, we tried 3 and 4 people on a live stream, and it gets pretty chaotic. I'm not sure how the other, Streamlab and stuff like that works, but if you've got streaming software that is jumping back and forth from person to person that's talking, it can get pretty chaotic. Matt DJ says, what's everybody wear for work boots? He wears Red Wings. I wear Thorogoods. What do you wear for work boots, honey?
Nike.
She wears Nikes. We got 67 people just watching me babble. Drew Bradley, Gore-Tex line Belleville government issued. Andy B, it was crazy. I didn't care for it. T. Roy wears Ariats. Scott Bennett Viaberg. I don't know that I've heard of them. Thorogoods are my go-to. They're comfy. Once you get them broke in, they're like wearing slippers. Oh, Walter Matson, 60 thumbs up now. I've got a very, very expensive pair of steel toes. I don't remember the name of them. They're handmade in Idaho. They're like $400 a pair. And I never wear them because they're way too heavy. Oh, Nathaniel Lee says, here's a link, StreamYard. You can invite to join your stream. I'll have to check that out. I'm not going to click on that link right now because it will probably end all of this and I won't know how to get back to it. James Bergeron says he needs a new pair of work boots. I would highly recommend Thorogoods. Scott Bennett, Viberb, I guess, made in BC. Kieran's good babble. Sat in my cab board. Matt Lee says used to wear Carolinas until he tried Red Wings. Loves them. DJ asks, how do you post just text on YouTube like an update? Like what I did on the community tab? Because I think once you get past 1,000 subscribers or 1,500, you can they give you a community tab to use. Andy B, do you and Mrs. Top Crane get your nails done at the same place? We do not. I get mine done at Benchmade Pocket Knives. And what? You can use a pocket knife for anything. A good pocket knife is indispensable. You can eat with it. You can open cans with it. You can trim your nails.
Yes, Nike work boots.
Matthew J, huh? Nike work. They're Nike tennis shoes. Von Heels, we have some high schools that come watch us at times as well. Von Heel says, well, I think it's important to expand work in the trades. Nothing raises my stress quite like having people unfamiliar with being around equipment on site. That's a fact. It's just more people to keep an eye on. Drew Bradley, have I set up a free email account yet? Like an email account for To the Top Crane? I do have an email account for that. It is right there. Dean, aloha from Hawaii. Hello from Missouri. Nathaniel Lee wears Arctic Cool Shell. Never heard of them. And James Bergeron carries a pocket knife all the time. I do too. I don't have one on me right now, but a good pocket knife is a tool you should not leave the house without. All done? Time for more? What cup is that for today?
I just drained my pot.
Oh, so there's one pot of coffee down, and it's 1:15 Central Time. John Avery, how are you? And John, thanks for all the promotions on Cranes Are Awesome. I don't like to do any self-promoting on there. That, to me, I don't know. I don't like to throw my content on someone else's YouTube page. So I greatly appreciate you throwing me out there and promoting me on there, or on the Facebook page. Sorry, but on Cranes Are Awesome Facebook page. And that group is fantastic. Let's see, Von Hills, we have people that would, for example, stand right next to the tracks because they do not know about the tail swing on my excavator. Yeah, that's a good time to tell people to get away. KW900, always have a Victor Max Swiss Army on him. James, I say throw a picture of your pocket knife on Instagram. People on Instagram will look at anything. Nathaniel Lee, or an axe. Nathaniel Lee, it's funny you mentioned that. If you bid high enough, you can own that axe. If you want to pack that thing around, that thing's pretty heavy. I'd say about 4 or 5 swings, and I'd be getting out the chainsaw. Drew Bradley, thank you all soon send you a picture of my brother, your twin. Not joking either. Shocking every time I see you. That'd be interesting to see. I'm going to lose the glasses soon. I'm going back to contacts, so that might change things. Well, change that much. But these are transitions extra active lenses, and they don't get dark enough in the crane, especially when you're staring at the sun. Sid Vicious asked, vacation plans for next summer yet? Vacation plans? Do we have any vacation plans for next summer?
Mackinac Island.
I guess we're going to Mackinac Island. So next summer we will be up north. Lawn Commander, cheap pocket knife. Don't want to ruin a good knife. It's funny whenever I buy a new pocket knife because I don't really want to use it for the first few months. So I carry 2 of them. And then at some point I end up scratching it up, and then I start carrying one again until I buy a new pocket knife. But I buy $200 Benchmades because I've had very good luck with Benchmade knives. Von Heels, when students would show up, I would stretch the boom out and tell people, if you're closer than this, you're too close. Unless I see you and motion you to come closer. Didn't always stop them. Math DJ said, can you offer an update on the Axe situation on a reminder of the whole bidding donation to charity? I covered that in the beginning of the video, if you want to go back and rewatch it. But if you guys want me to, I can revisit that and we can go over that whole deal again. I packed a lot of information in, the first 17 minutes? Mm-hmm. Shane Davis said, you'll be impressed by the Mackinac Bridge. Also worth driving up to the Sioux Locks while you're there.
So should we stay on Mackinac Island or Mackinac City?
Okay, so should we stay on Mackinac Island or in Mackinac City? James Bergeron just posted posted a picture of his knife on Instagram. So you guys can follow James Bergeron on Instagram and check that out. Hess Medco. That's unsettling, kind of infuriating. When set up in the city, people will lift up and walk right under our barricades, directly under our lift path. That's where a good ground crew should come in and start talking very sternly to people. And I have no problem laying on the old horn and getting people's attention. Terry Pink said, you'll love that trip. I've done it. Wear good walking shoes and wear shoulder pads. A lot of people stay in the city.
So should we try looking on the island?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I haven't either.
I don't know if I've got any subscribers watching that are from the Mackinac area. I know if we were going to Maine, we could hit up a few. And if we were going back to Florida, we could meet up with Sid Vicious. Walter Madsen, come see the aerial lift bridge in Duluth if you haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it. Duluth, Minnesota? Isn't that where Duluth is? Up there where they're covered in feet of snow? Shane Davis said the island is a nice place to stay. However, you can't take your car and you're dependent on the ferry to get back to your car to do any extra travel.
So we should stay in the city then.
So evidently we should stay in the city and then travel to the island.
There's St. Igny too.
St. Igny?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
It's Mackinac City and then St. Igny and then Mackinac Island. There were the 3.
Okay.
Yeah. It is non-motorized. It's all bicycle.
You're not getting me on a bicycle unless it's got an engine on it.
You have to walk. Can't be worse than Universal.
Oh, yeah. Universal was a lot of walking. Sid Vicious, what you're getting Mrs. to the top for Christmas. I'm not going to talk about that with her sitting right here.
I don't need anything.
John Warren says, very pretty up there, been many times. Medco, uninformed PD yelling at them, still barely got through with the kids. Yep, Mike Manfred, Sandy, and Mike are in Florida also. Walter Matson says, Duluth is in Minnesota. So I guess we need to go north to Minnesota and then over.
Oh, no, I've never been to Minnesota either.
Terry Pink, non-motorized island. Shane Davis lives just south of Detroit, goes up to, or in Ohio, go up north a lot. Cut and clean. How are you doing, Andy? Andy B says, I could give you crane tours in downtown Nashville.
Been there.
We were just there. I should have jumped on a live stream and told everybody our route when we drove to Florida last year. We could have met up with some cool people.
We're going in June, so.
Walter Madden said Duluth, Minnesota, the snow will be gone by May or June. By May or June? The snow will be gone by June in Minnesota? I am not living in Minnesota. I'd like to go up there and do some fishing, though. I hear the fishing's spectacular in Minnesota. Mike Manfred, how did you get Mrs. Two Top Crane on today? How did I get you on here today?
Because I've spent 12 years,
Poking and poking and poking and poking.
No, but I've spent 12 years in school that you've supported me, so it's my turn to do it for you.
There you have it. They all appreciate your sacrifice of time to me to be able to do this. It's been said many times before. Von Hills, it takes time to set up barricades, so if they take time to do it, there's a reason. I think we ought to be able to put up electric fences and then set up live stream cameras where it streams straight to YouTube for people trying to take up or lift the barricades on electric fences. So Walter Madden said that before that, really. So the snow will probably be gone April, May. You guys got dumped on, though. So I don't know how many feet of snow you guys got up there, Walter, but it's been a lot. Mike Manfred says, thank you for your sacrifice.
His has been much longer than mine.
Warp 65 for bear fence. I don't think people that aren't creators know how much time it takes to create footage and put it on YouTube. It literally is a second job. And when I first started doing this, what was I down here or editing? It was, I bet I was doing something YouTube related 30 hours a week, maybe more. So I'd go to work and work all day, and then I'd come home and I would edit video or try to edit video and learn the ropes about this YouTube thing literally until 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. And I would do that basically every night for weeks. Now I've kind of tried to find a balance in there, and I've gotten a little better at editing, so it goes a little quicker. But being a YouTuber is a lot of work. John Warren, that'd be some good content. Terry Pink, I'll go get the wife and repeat that again. Yeah, I think we ought to be able. Actually, let's not even tell them it's electric fence. We'll just disguise it as regular barricade, and we'll put like 100-mile fencer on 100 feet of barricade, and then set up cameras to where it live streams them straight to YouTube. And when they're trying to grab it and go under it, everybody will learn from that. Walter Matson, they've got about 2 feet of snow right now, maybe more starting tonight.
Which is why I picked June.
No kidding.
Because it's going to be nice there. It's only supposed to be like 70 for the high in June.
I'm okay with 70. I'm just not okay with feet of snow.
That way it's not super hot.
Amen to that, Scott. Says you can keep it, Walter Matson. Terry Pink, yeah, but it's a hobby that is enjoyable. It is an enjoyable hobby, and I've met and been able to talk to a lot of really neat people that I wouldn't have otherwise. And I still enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. It takes a lot of time, and when you have a family and a full-time job, there's not a lot of time to divvy up anyway. Von Heels, what's the job market like around there for NPs and PAs? Around here, it seems like there are not many openings.
The market's pretty flooded here as well. There's not a whole lot of PAs. They really, more practices that I've seen anyway, hire NPs rather than PAs, but there are some practices that use PAs. But in our area in St. Joe, it's pretty flooded. Kansas City still has quite a few openings, but they're mostly specialty openings.
Well, there you have it. Mike Manfred, I can rig up some 14,400 volts if you like. We could do 14,400 volts, but it's probably going to have to be very low amperage. We just want to straighten their hair out so they get the point that, hey, you shouldn't mess with those barricades. We don't actually want to put anybody in a morgue. John Warren, just use yellow tape for horses. Todd Scholes, it's snowing in North Dakota right now, so Minnesota will get it tonight. Sid Vicious just remembered Andrew says he broke his petty bone crane and bought a bigger Grove. Sid Vicious, at your request and email, I reached out to Andrew a lot and offered to help him with his crane endeavors, and he was he was respectful about his reluctance to ask for any help, and basically I took it as I need to stay in my own lane. And really I was staying in my own lane, but I was also trying to help Andrew not kill himself. I don't know how that's going to work out. You got to love Andrew for the fact that he is a go-getter and will do whatever it takes to get a job done. And I would say when it comes to the safety aspect of certain things, it is not at the forefront of his mind. But I don't know. Hopefully Andrew isn't making a video of an upside down crane at some point. I wish him the best of luck. I tried to help him out, offered suggestions, told him, I said, hey, if you ever have questions about any of that stuff, rigging, operating, any of that, by all means, reach out to me. I'll give you all the information I can. And he was very much not having it. Walter Madsen, Duluth has a lot of hospitals for your wife to work in as soon as you want to move here. I'm not going to live anywhere where they measure snow in feet regularly. I'm just not a fan of the white fluffy stuff. Von Heels, highway crew had a bystander jump a barricade and get his legs run over by a skid steer.
Oh, dear.
Ouch. Amazingly, with a functioning backup beeper, and somehow it was the company's fault. I don't get that. I don't understand that. If a person knowingly puts themselves in danger, how can it be the company's fault? Solaski Farm says, as an IUOE Local 18 crane apprentice, I want to thank you for taking the time to put out very enjoyable, informative content. Well, thanks for that, and thanks for watching it. And if there's something you guys that you want to see, I've said it a lot on here. If there's something that you want to see, by all means, shoot me a message or do it in comments, send me an email, and I will try to incorporate it. Just know, like I talked about earlier, setup and teardown is not something that's easy for me to get footage on, because whenever I'm making these videos, we're on someone's dime, and they're not paying me to be a videographer. They're paying me to pick stuff up and set it down. So shooting video is not my priority when I'm in the crane. Now, when we're back at our yard, I tend to have a little bit more time to do some stuff. And I actually recorded about, 12 minutes of footage underneath the old Tadano. I jumped on a creeper with a shop light and started at the front bumper, and we went from the front bumper to the back bumper. I haven't edited and uploaded it yet. If you guys want to see it, I'll throw it out there. It's kind of shaky, and I don't know. I was holding this in one hand and a shop light in the other, trying to make my way underneath the crane. So imagine how shaky and crappy that footage might be. So Terry Pink, do a service video on the crane. I just serviced the lower, and I didn't record any footage of that. It's just, well, I've done part of the service on the lower, oil, fuel filters, stuff like that. But we're still getting other stuff done as time allows. Buff Aviation. I like airplanes. Don't necessarily. Well, I guess I don't mind them flying around the crane either. As long as they don't hit me, we're all good. Von Heels, we do. We have a working relationship with every crane company in the area. I mean, yeah, we compete with each other for jobs, but we also help each other out with jobs. On several of the bridge videos, you guys will see that I'm teamed up with another crane from a different outfit, and we work together, and we also work against each other on some cases. Buff Aviation. I'm an aviation enthusiast, and I upload videos of planes. I'll check them out. I just uploaded a video of a plane the other day that flew around the end of the boom. It happened to be a C-130. Kirian says, how about derations? I can do a video on derations if you guys want to listen to that. It's a lot of technical stuff, but I mean, I'll do one on whatever you guys want to see. It's just it's a matter of what can I record without putting the customer out as far as money. But I'll do a video on derations if you want to see it. John Avery used buried electrical line caution tape. It's made with tinfoil, so alligator clips and a neon sign transformer, and they'll think twice. We don't want to kill anybody. I don't know what the voltage is on a neon sign transformer, but I think it's pretty high, like 60 or 70,000 volts. Are you getting more comfortable with the camera yet?
I'm just sitting here.
She really doesn't like cameras. I used to hate them too, but now it's just kind of whatever.
I teach on them. It doesn't make it any better.
Caution tape and hide pig electric fence wire in the tape. I don't know how that would go over. And Mike Manford fishing for planes with the old crane. Sid Vicious asks, whatever happened to the old Thor's hammer thing? I've been working on it here and there. Scott Bennett, can I use a taser? I don't think a taser's allowed. I've got a picture of the hammer somewhere. Where is it at? There's a hydraulic pump. So here it is so far. Come on, focus. Focus, camera. I've got it welded to an engine stand so I can spin it and weld on it and spin it and weld on it and grind and all that good stuff. Oh, there, now it finally decides to focus. Why didn't it rotate? Now it probably won't focus again. Oh, there. So it's getting there. Matt Lee, remember the paperwork, folks. If you kill them, you got to do paperwork. Terry Pink, plain and simple, you can't fix stupid. That's a fact. Carrion says a lot of people fail on basic sling and shackle angles. They do. Long Commander, you can fix stupid, just takes longer. And while I was looking at that hammer picture, there was actually a picture on here that I was going to post to Instagram, and I completely forgot about it. I'm going to zoom in on this, and I want you guys to see this. This is what the world needs. So I was on a job. Let's see. We'll show that. Scott Bennett, Thor's hammer is going to be 1,500 pounds. But anyway, I was on a job with our 5128, one of our Manitexes, and we were set up near an office building, and we had an area taped off so people couldn't come in like we were talking about, and people were going around the tape, so there wasn't an issue. But there was an elderly woman carrying her purse and trying to carry a computer bag and something else. And one of the guys on the job site, actually, he was the foreman, saw this lady walking across the parking lot and went out of his way to do this. So as soon as he saw her get out of her car and was walking across the parking lot, he made a beeline straight towards her, took her bags, and escorted her to the door. We need more of that in the world. So Scott Bennett asked how heavy the hammer is going to be. It's going to be 1,500 pounds when it's all done. We're going to pick it up about 70 feet with the crane and drop it on stuff. We're going to tear up a bunch of stuff with it. And it's got its own YouTube channel. I don't know how to put the link to it in here. When it gets all finished, and we start making videos, I will start pushing it a little harder on here because it's probably something you guys will want to watch. I mean, this channel is all about safe and doing things that aren't really dangerous and not tearing stuff up. And that channel is going to be about just tearing up as much stuff as we can, other than the crane. Sid Vicious said, speaking of Thor, not sure who, can't pronounce that, but it says a great blacksmithing channel you might like. John Avery asked, are you going to fill the hammer with sand and make it a dead blow? It is actually just solid steel. It is 1/2-inch plates of steel welded together. It is going to be a solid block of steel. Mike Manford only running a year behind. That's a fact. It is a year behind. Smedco asks, have you ever had the boom jam up much, necessitating manual operation? Every once in a while. It happens maybe 2 times a year. If I've got sections out at 100%, it will sometimes get hung up. Like for it to unpin itself, it's got to push out to 103 to 104%. Release the boom pins and then come in, and every so often it'll only push out to like 101% and it can't pull the boom pins in, so I'll have to put it in manual mode and extend it out to 103 so the boom pins will release. But it doesn't happen very often, but it does occasionally. Cecil McKinley, how are you doing? Says it just dropped in. We're doing well here, other than the fact that it's winter. David says, I already watch How Ridiculous, so Thor's hammer should be fun. And How Ridiculous, as soon as I announced that I was building a Thor's hammer, it wasn't long after that How Ridiculous made a Thor's hammer. So I don't know if they're watching the channel, but their little hammer was only 220 pounds. I would like them to fly over here with it when I get our Thor's hammer done and smash theirs. That'd be cool. D. McDonald, how are you doing? says, hey, Jimmy and Mrs. To the Top Crane, joined late. Have you started the auction? The auction starts today and will run until next Sunday. D. McDonald won the axe last year. So if you want 2 more and some hats, you've got an opportunity. Some hats and some stickers and a Tadano poster. So you still have the axe hanging on the wall, D. McDonald? And back to David's comment as far as watching How Ridiculous. I've got some neat stuff planned, I think, once I get the hammer done that will probably get How Ridiculous's attention. We'll see how it goes. D. McDonald's thinking of adding to the collection. If you haven't seen the other 2, I'm not gonna hit you with it. I'll hit the wall with it though. There's the other 2. And D. McDonald can attest that how I did it last year, as soon as he sent the money, PayPal, friends and family, would you get that axe in about 4 or 5 days? Von Heels, the embedded camera should make for some great shots. It should. Hopefully it survives. Kieran says, how do you get crane merch? Like, how do I get this stuff from Tadano? Or I've got merchandise on Teespring. It's just hats, or not hats. I don't have any hats on Teespring. I've got shirts and hoodies on Teespring if you want those. But D. McDonald came very quickly. Thanks again. Well, thanks for popping in, D. McDonald. If you know the drill. You went through it last year. So if you want to stickers too, we've got Tadano stickers and hats and some more To the Top Crane stickers that will go with the axes. But anyway, back to Kieran's deal. I've got some stuff on Teespring, and then merchandise from Tadano. They actually have reached out to me, and I've had the opportunity to meet with and talk with a lot of great people with Tadano, and they just kind of send me stuff every so often. It's their way of saying thanks to me for, I guess, wearing their hat and operating their machine. But, well, it's our machine, but one they built. Von Heels just need the SD card to survive. The camera is an acceptable casualty, at least to us that don't have to pay for it. That camera, that's actually the way I designed that hole in the bottom of the hammer for the camera. I mean, there's a possibility it may not make it. I don't know. I don't know how many G-forces a GoPro Hero 5 session can handle, but we're going to find out at some point. If it does die, it's $200 to replace it. So I guess it depends on how the channel's doing. If I sacrifice a $200 camera every time I drop the hammer, as long as it's getting enough views to pay for the camera, we're good. I'll replace one every time we drop it. Based on the look on her face, she's not too happy about that. But I told her, I said, if it gets enough views and the channel gets big enough, I'll drop that hammer through the skylight in our entryway.
No.
What? It's all for the views, honey.
No, because I don't want to live through the remodel.
So what's to say I wasn't playing around with a crane in the driveway in front of the house, and I was swinging the hammer over to do something in the backyard, and it accidentally fell through the skylight in the entryway of the house.
People don't just play with cranes in their front yards.
Some people might. So I don't know. We'll see. Todd Scholes, her eyes got big. I don't know. If the channel had 10 million subscribers and each video was getting 10 million views, I would probably just have to send you on a cruise and I would drop the hammer through the skylight in the entryway. Or better yet, I'll dump it down the chimney. We'll do a chimney cleaning project with Thor's hammer.
No, I don't want it.
I'll drop it through the chimney straight out the fireplace.
Go smash other things other than our house.
That's all for the views, honey. John Warner, you're getting a look if I'm going to hurt you, Jimmy. Walter Madsen sent me a picture of the snow. Sid Vicious, I do have a new model crane. Tadano sent an ATF 220. Someone said heroes have more than 1.5 second delay to write to SD card. Von Heels drop it through the sunroof for the one guy that insists on parking right in the way of the pick. It's hard telling what we'll drop it on. D. McDonald, it has been a lot of welding and grinding. Lots and lots and lots of welding and grinding. Way, way more than what I ever anticipated. I even contemplated about just starting using it now. It's at about 800 pounds. Like, just go ahead and make a video at 800 pounds and see what it does, and then start and just keep adding to it. I mean, right now, but it doesn't look like a hammer. It looks like a half a hammer. So I hate to put it on video as a half a hammer, but I also am really curious of what it's going to do to something when it hits it at 50 miles an hour. I mean, so I don't know. I guess I just need to get my butt in the garage and get it done is what I need to do. You'd probably like to have the extra space anyway and the lack of mess after I get done with it.
You clean it up. I got room to park. That's all I need.
No, it sucks. I'll go out there and work on it for 8 or 10 hours, and then I've got 3 hours of cleaning everything up and dusting everything off. And David, that should be on a t-shirt. It's all for the views. Von Heels, what you drop it on is a direct result of how many views we can get. That's a fact. So realistically, the only way to know how many views it could actually get is just go ahead and drop it down the chimney straight out of the gates. I mean, that would go viral. The channel would get monetized in a hurry.
Drop it in the pool then.
Oh yeah, we're tearing the pool out. We got a pool in our backyard that no one uses, so we're going to tear it out. So I'm sure I'll tear our patio and our pool up with the hammer, but nothing says I'm committed to a channel like dropping it through a skylight in your house.
No, not the house. The pool, not the house.
I can see this is going to be a debate. D. McDonald, chimney drop is the winner. See?
No.
I don't understand what the big deal is. It's just a house. We can cover the hole with a piece of plywood. I mean, it would be weather tight in 20 minutes.
No.
After we hoist the hammer back out of the basement through the same hole. Von Heels uses a wrecking ball for some structure that needs to come down anyway.
Exactly. The pool, the wall.
Von Heels, then you can do a tutorial on catching the load at the same time. I still like the skylight idea. I really want to just send it down the skylight once. Or through the skylight. No. Oh, John Avery shared us on Cranes Are Awesome. Thanks for that, John. I just now noticed that. He did that 30 minutes ago. You're right there on, not only are you on YouTube, you are now on Facebook.
I am.
You are? I'm trying to find that picture that Walter Madsen sent me. Looks like we've got some emails. So Shane Davis sent us a picture of a big bridge beam. Let's see if this thing loads. Holy smokes. Shane Davis, that is a big bridge beam. see if you guys can see that thing in there. That's a fairly sizable concrete bridge girder. I don't know what that weighs, but it's a lot. It's more than 10 pounds. John Warren says, I like the skylight deal. Nathaniel Lee, if you wreck your GoPro, you can send it to GoPro, and when you send it in, get half off the GoPro 5. Anthony Ray, Gorilla Tape Plywood, the She Shed. Oh, Andy B says, Jimmy, you have to start small. Try it on the motorcycle. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
The motorcycle is a non-starter.
Why not?
No.
You can just get another one.
I could, but that's a non-starter. John Hines, she is so patient. Okay, since I can't do the skylight in the house, can I do the sunroof in your Cadillac?
No.
Von Heels, if you send it through the skylight, you'll end up with a skylight all the way to the basement. It would too. Bellum 128, how are you doing?
You didn't like redoing the basement after it flooded. Can you imagine that?
Brian, the wife will drop it through the house only if you stand under it. Is that what you were laughing about earlier? Did you see that comment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't be able to stand under it. I'd have to be the one operating the crane, so I'd be like 50 feet away. Alex Williamson's Blind Adventures. You're at a restaurant and saw a telehandler go over its capacity. Were they screaming about it? Some places do that. They freak out if the back tires come off the ground. She's going upstairs. At some point, it's going through the skylight. I just don't know at what point. But at some point, it's going through the skylight. That's a ask for forgiveness later type of deal. Von Heels plus Jerry told us the crane is capable of remote control. It is, but we don't own the remote for it. It's not. You can add that to it, but it hasn't been added to it. So it doesn't have the remote on it. But if she thinks I won't drop it through the skylight in the house, she's crazy. It'll be she'll come home from work and be like, it'll be like a Bam Margera video. She'll come home from work and be like, what happened? I don't know. Something fell out of the sky. Are you bringing the cat with you? Walter Madsen, you might need another house. I'd probably be relegated to staying in the camper for a few days or the rest of my life. Lawn Commander, we won't say anything. Andy, we can't make everybody happy. Matt Lee says there's a story about the skylight here. Really, there's no story about the skylight. It's just I was brainstorming and I was like, what could we drop that hammer on that would be really neat? And I was like, we've got a skylight in our entryway. If I dropped it through the skylight in our entryway, that would be pretty neat. That would get a lot of views. It'd be something everybody would want to see. Oh, Nathaniel, you should wreck the link belt. Yeah. King 2042. The problem is you've now advertised your intentions. You'll never get away with it. Bellum 128 is very jealous of the models in the background. You can buy those from Tadano. If you go to the Tadano official, Tadano America, I think, has them too. But if you go to the Tadano website, you can buy those die casts on there. Sid Vicious, once you get the hammer done, you can pick up some dynamic compaction jobs with the old friction rig, if they even do that up there. There are some places that they do that occasionally. William King, hey, Jimmy had to go move snow. I'm glad you guys are moving it, and I'm not having to move any of it yet. Mally, that cat looks very well fed. That cat
His name is Fat.
His name's Buzz. You guys call him Fat. He's a very old cat.
He is.
How old is he now? 15?
15.
He's 15. And every now and then, my daughter will be like, "Hey, where's the cat?" I'm like, "I don't know. You'll probably smell him in a few days," because, I mean, he's 15. Von Hills, you just need to come up with the right story for it. Like, I need to clean out the chimney, so I'm going to use Thor's hammer to do it. William King says, "Hi, Buzz."
It's not a wood burning stove or fireplace. So.
Oh, yeah, she's on to us now, Von Heels. It's not a wood burning fireplace. It's a natural gas fireplace. So cleaning it is probably not a story I could use. Andy B says, "Pretty cat." He was a garage sale cat.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, 2 weeks after we bought our first house?
Mm-hmm.
I was fishing with.
Maddie wanted a cat.
Yeah, I was fishing with my father-in-law, her dad. We were out fishing, and she called and said, "Hey, I got something for the house." And I said, "It better not be a cat." And I get home, and there was this, but like 1/10 that size, sleeping in a Hot Wheels container,
Yeah, but
like a blue Hot Wheels box that you put Hot Wheels cars in.
He wants on your lap.
I know he wants on my lap, and I don't really want him on my lap right now. But so then we ended up with a cat. John Hines says 80 degrees in Texas. I've got some brothers who live in Tyler, Texas. Actually, I can give my brother a shout out. If you're in the Tyler, Palestine, Marshall, White House, Texas area, and you need an oil change, go to Oil Exchange. The Oil Exchange is a chain that is in that area that my brother owns. Von Hills doesn't mean you can't ream it out for better airflow, the chimney. Yeah, a 16 by 20 inch rectangle would probably flow much better than an 8-inch circle. So to me, that's safety. I mean, it keeps the chimney drafting correctly so you don't end up with carbon monoxide in the house. Touch holes. I watch Welker Farms in Montana. I like their bowling ball cannon. I would do a bowling ball cannon around here, but I don't think the local police department would appreciate it. Matt Lee says, "I'd say the cat might be getting fed better than you if the skylight meets the hammer." Larry Ford said, "Seeing snow here Tuesday, Boot Heel area." See, Von Heels agrees with me. A 16-inch by 20-inch rectangular chimney would flow better than an 8-inch circle. There's more surface area, more volume of air could travel through it, so it'd be safer.
We don't use it that much to even care about that.
William King says, "Hi, Mrs. To the Top." Let's see if we got an email. I don't see one yet. Maybe it went to the wrong folder.
No, that's it. Just 3.
Andy B, y'all have any more pets? We've got a cat and 2 dogs. Yeah, I haven't got an email on my end yet. See, John Hines, he says, "I concur." Oh, Drew Bradley says, "Will be from a Built by Force email." Yeah, it hasn't come up on my end yet, Drew. Still trying to refresh it. Yep, nothing. But we have been chatting now for 2 hours and 3 minutes. So, Von Hills, do the models happen to have the location for the additional sheaves by chance? No, it just looks like it's got. I know the 160 and the GR 1000 don't. The ATF 220 has the Deadman for the Beckett, but it doesn't have the. Wait, that'd be on the main. Actually, the ATF 220, it does look like it's got the lugs for the additional sheaves. KW 900 says, drop the worst hammer on the carnival game, ring the bell.
Oh, that would be cool.
Build a big one. It's like 100 feet tall and put a bell at the top of it. Based on how long it's taken me to build the hammer, I don't think I'm building a 100-foot tall carnival bell. Carl asked, not knowing about cranes, how do the Tadanos compare to Grove or Link Belt? Their customer service, I mean, at least for us, has been second to none. Cost of ownership seems to be cheaper. I mean, parts replacement, stuff like that seems to be cheaper. 95% of any issues we've ever had can be fixed over the phone. So having 12 different or 15 different people to call if you have an issue makes a big difference in the industry. And then the initial cost of the machine tends to be a little bit less than like Grove and Lee Bear and such. Overall, in all honesty, if you took all of this stuff away and you had to sell me a machine, I would buy, personally, myself, I would buy the Tadano before I bought the others. Just having sat in them, the way they're built, I mean, they're horses, they're workhorses. We're going to try one more time on the email, and then I'm probably going to shut this thing down. So, oh, there it is. Let's see. Resemblance? Other than he's got a goatee.
A little bit. I think if the hair was dark, then
We'll let you guys decide.
I can see a little bit of it, yeah.
Oh, Matt Lee says, like button, everyone. Let's see this is what D. McDonald sent just now. You guys see what's on his wall there and what's on his TV screen. That's pretty cool. So thanks for that, D. McDonald. Said he's thinking about adding to the collection. So you guys, if you're going to bid on the axe, D. McDonald may be bidding with you. But anyway, it's been 2 hours and 7 minutes now, and we do actually have stuff to do today. So unfortunately, we're going to have to jump off of here. And I'm not sure what footage I'm going to have coming up, but I've got a lot of it to pour through. You guys want to see the bottom of the crane? You want me to do that one next? Andy B says, thanks for joining us, Mrs. Top. William King says, Jimmy, stay safe and keep up the great job. So I appreciate that. But if you guys want to see the bottom of the crane, I will upload that footage next. It should be a pretty easy one to edit and upload. Maybe throw it up Monday or Tuesday. And like I said, it's a video of me starting at the front bumper and looking at stuff clear to the back bumper of the old Tadano. So we'll do that one next. But thanks, everybody. If you want to participate in the auction, please feel free to do so. But again, this time of year, I know it's tough for people. Don't feel obligated. Rambozo Clown, how are you doing? I just saw you jumped in. But please don't feel like I'm pressuring anybody. I don't want it to be that. If it's something that you guys feel compelled to give to, if you want to donate $5 or $10 or $2 or $1 or even 75 cents, I don't care. It's whatever you guys want to do. Shoot me an email at tothetopcrane@gmail.com and we will make it happen. Anybody that donates and whoever wins the axes, I will, if you want me to, say your name during the live stream next Sunday. So if you want some recognition on that, whatever, we can do that. So with that, I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you guys telling your friends about the channel and making it grow to what it has. I never expected to be at close to 10,000 in this amount of time. And it just blows my mind, this whole YouTube thing. So you guys keep me humble and I appreciate it. And with that, everybody have a happy, safe week. To the Top Crane is out.